The national champion is clad in big orange.
National champion is clad in big orange.
From 40, on the way, a knuckleball. He got it.
He will fire.
Since 2007, Tennessee has defeated Connecticut.
1-0 in the air, right center field. Ross on the move, won't get there. Tennessee walks it off.
Deep drive, back it goes, at the wall, Davis leaps and cannot get it, and Tennessee walks it off.
And this is still college athletics at its absolute best, man. We don't have that on the intro anymore, but, that's just what we say, man. And it's absolutely college athletics at its best. Welcome into another episode of the Fanatics Show. I am Michael with my co-host Skylar. Man, Skylar, how are you doing today, this 32 days away until Tennessee football?
Dude, I'm fired up. Today was media day for the Volunteers. Got to hear from Coach. And, man, I'm excited about what he said, about how he said it. It's football time in Tennessee, man. Fall camp starts tomorrow. This is everything you dream of. It's not going to be too much longer for you. You walk outside in the morning, go to work, and you're going to have that cool chill in the morning, that dew point lower a little bit. It's about that time, Michael. I'm pretty excited. It's been a great week. And how have you been, Michael?
Man, I've been doing good. I got a little man here who's excited about Tennessee football too. He just had to join us on the podcast again
right,
tonight.
come on now.
Like I told, I told you last week, I need to get one of those. I've still got a splitter that I need to put in. I just need to grab him a little headset. That way he can also listen in and join in. He can obviously talk on the mic.
Dang right. Let him talk. Dang it. Let him talk.
Well, I'm trying to keep him from hitting the mute button. So.
Yeah, no kidding. Tennessee Football 247 already in the chat saying, my coach speaking the truth today. Go Vols. Man, I cannot wait to talk about it. Michael, you good, buddy? Our producers. He's going in on the action.
I'm good, man.
Right on. Well, without further ado, I want to let the folks know who helps put this show on, and that is, you see it up there, P&L Business Services. We know firsthand that getting your monthly reporting, invoicing, bill pay, taxes, and other essential business services right is critical. That's why P&L Business Services, we go beyond bookkeeping by providing you everything you need in your back office so you can have your time back and the peace of mind to do what you love most, which is building your business. Behind every successful business is a great bookkeeper. Guys, if this is something you feel like you may need, if you're struggling, you don't realize how much time you lose, by the way, in the financial realm when it comes to your business. Just go online to pnlbusinessservices.com. Allow the fine folks out of Oak Ridge, Tennessee to help you out. Now, they posted something on TikTok today, Michael, and they were basically calling me out because they were saying that you can't just put everything on the business card as a tax write-off. I thought that was the sole reason of why you owned a business. I mean, I'm going to Walmart. I'm getting some good, ramen noodles. Noodles, ramen, however you say it. But noodles, that's my go-to. That's the reason why I can't lose the belly gut, bro. It's not beer. It's noodles all day long. But that's a tax write-off, right? I thought that's what that was, man. But apparently, no, that's not really work-related. But anyways, it's fine. I appreciate those fine folks, man. The tips are great. But, Michael, enough about me, the rundown. What are we talking about tonight?
Tonight, segment one, you mentioned it earlier. Today was media days.
That's right.
Before spring practice kicks off tomorrow. So today we're going to talk about the comments made by Josh Heupel, Jim Knowles, Joey Halzle, and any comments that we thought stood out from players during media days today in Knoxville. We're also, during that segment, going to look at the preseason coaches poll that came out today and give our thoughts on that as well. Segment two, we're going to talk about Ole Miss and give our predictions for them in 2026. And then segment three, our good pal Lane Kiffin and LSU. That's who we're going to talk about. And I say good pal sarcastically.
Yeah. No, he's a good buddy of ours.
Yeah.
We love to hate. We can't lie.
Yeah, he's our golfing buddy, you know?
That's right. That's right. He gets the noodle ball, though. I can't be throwing no Pro Bs at him.
Yeah, I know. It's definitely in the noodle. You know, you find those random SpongeBob balls out there. Those are the ones that he gets. You know, something like that. But no, let's get right into it tonight. As I'll give you our segment one sponsor, which is Optimal Asbestos Services. Optimal Asbestos Services offers detailed asbestos inspections and air quality assessments. Whether you're looking to secure your home or workplace, you can trust Optimal Asbestos Services to deliver thorough and reliable solutions. You can contact Jeff Mull at 865-223-3297 for your consultation today, or go on the web at optimalasbestosservices.com. Tennessee Media Days. SEC Media Days was a couple of weeks ago. Tennessee Media Days. Very first thing that stood out. Josh Heupel's thoughts on the Arion Carter situation.
I'm glad he got it out of the way.
Yeah.
I mean, that was going to be one of the very first questions asked. So him addressing it and giving his thoughts out there in his opening statements really helped in the fact that, like, I don't think really anybody asked about it after that. They got a very clear, obvious answer on how our coach felt about the situation. I loved how even other players, I mean, I seen just a few clips about other players just saying, I mean, look, we agree. It was BS. Like, we don't understand how a charge that didn't even tally to $500 on a charge that was paid back before it was even reported is somehow the NCAA is going to come down. And I mean, it's a terrible situation. Everybody knows it initially was a 3-game suspension. We actually appealed it to get it to 2 games, but it's just crazy that it serves as suspension to begin with. I mean, we're talking about the new age of college football, and we're really going to put our foot down, NCAA. We're really going to put our foot down on a $500 plane ticket? Less than? No, it's okay though. Every single quarterback in Division I right now is on average making $1.5 million, but we're gonna put our foot down on. Yeah, man, it just doesn't make. And I think that's where the frustration comes in. You kind of seen it. Somebody did ask. They were like, "Hey, you kind of let us in on that, but like, it's clear that you're frustrated. Can you elaborate why you are?" And I think Josh Heupel kind of said it clearly. He's like, "Man, it's just you look at where the game's at right now. You look at the ongoing changes in the rules. I mean, right now we're talking about how we just denied Carlin Pickens another year of eligibility, but now we just got the 5 for 5, and all of a sudden, the class of 22 player, whatever, is they're now allowed to come back. Like, it's all so confusing for everybody involved, and I think just having a lack of structure, a lack of foundation for everybody right now in the realm of college sports, it's very frustrating because you don't know. It's almost like they're just making up rules as they go. And so it makes a lot of sense to me, and I feel the frustration from this coaching staff.
Yeah, and like he said as well, the rule is outdated now,
Yes.
because you got players making all sorts of money, and, it's a $500 or less than $500 plane ticket that he paid back. And it's not like the day and age when you couldn't be paid when this was illegal.
That's right.
This is a day and time where players are making millions of dollars in college. They're getting vehicles from NIL deals. They're getting all these sorts of things. But all of a sudden now a plane ticket from a pro, I guess you could say in quotations, a pro agent of his.
It was pre-draft.
Like we said numerous times.
It was before the deadline. Yep. It was.
And like we said numerous times, he has paid this back.
Yep.
And he's being given the same type of suspension that Jim Harbaugh had whenever he won a national title after cheating his way to it, that Brendan Sorsby was going to have if he had played college football this season for gambling on football games.
They were going to give Arion Carter the same, if not worse, punishment for this $450 plane ticket than what they were going to do to Brendan Sorsby.
Yes.
And some of that's out of the NCAA's control because obviously NCAA's punishment was going to be a lot harsher, but obviously with the whole judge granting the whatever and yada yada and lawyer speak that I don't really 100% understand, but it's still amazingly just obnoxious the fact that Brendan Sorsby was going to have basically served the same amount of game suspensions as now Arion Carter is going to face, and the level of discipline I feel like should have been just. I mean, I don't know, man. It's you're right. It's outdated. It's an outdated rule. I would hope that we got 4.5 weeks till kickoff, and this can get somehow worked out. If not, oh well. It's not like, I mean, Arian, let's be honest. If we play Furman the way we should, my man Carter may only play like 9 plays, tops, in that first game.
Yeah, he's probably not going to play a whole lot. Probably first half maximum is what he would play.
I was thinking first quarter. Like, seriously. Like, I genuine, with how many freaking linebackers we have, I don't see why there's a reason. You should be up 14-0 or 21-0 after the end of the first quarter against Furman. No disrespect. It's just the way you should take care of business, especially with a quarterback that wants to assert themselves as the starter and not even want to think about being pulled for any. You better go out there and show out immediately. So I don't think it, but Georgia Tech, it could be a concern, but as I've stated in several of my posts on TikTok and whatnot, and I've kind of gone back and forth with some Vol fans, but, they're like, no, we need him for Georgia Tech. I'm like, no, you don't, okay? Because if we need him that bad for Georgia Tech, we're not going to have the season we all want to have. So I'm not totally worried about it. I do think if you look at the silver lining, it keeps him healthier longer, because I do know he's been battling some stuff. That was the whole reason why he didn't go pro, is he had a procedure done to take care of some things. And so maybe the time off is a good thing, keeps him healthy, and he's ready to rock and roll against Texas. Who knows? But either way, it's still a precedent. It's still setting the precedent, and I think the NCAA is totally wrong in this. I agree with the coaching staff 100% and the players.
Yeah, and it's bad whenever it's not just Tennessee fans saying this. You've got all sorts of fans. You've got media from different fan bases, from different organizations out there that are also, in Tennessee's favor for this. Like a guy that I like to watch because of his personality is Jermaine Funnyman Johnson. That is an Alabama fan, but some of his reactions, to the games, how Alabama fans watched, this past week's games, they're funny. I like to watch it. But when he came out on his TikTok account this week and he said, and I'm not quoting this verbatim, but he basically said, now, when I'm advocating for Tennessee, something is wrong. And he said, this Arion Carter BS that is going on with the NCAA right now is just that. It is BS. This should not be a thing. He should be allowed to play right off the bat. There should be no suspension. And basically, he ended up, I'm not advocating for Tennessee by any means, but this is ridiculous what the NCAA is doing. So when you've got guys like that that are hardcore for their fan base advocating for Tennessee, this is something that the NCAA needs to fix now.
Yep. No, I mean, I agree 100%. Like I said, it's a crazy situation. Hopefully, I hope it's not over, but it might be, unfortunately. But what are you going to do? I mean, put the pads on. Let's go play ball. It is what it is. Clearly, we know there's issues going on. I just can't wait to see how it all unfolds because, right now, there's still ongoing changes to the rules. The coaching staff, another thing they talked about, they're right now pursuing how to bring on another guy that just graduated out or tried to go pro. They're trying to work out how that process is going to look, how the roster management is going to be. They're weighing their options. There's a great chance that our roster is not even complete right now, and we're going into fall camp. So there's a lot of moving parts to this. It's all crazy, man. I think one thing that I really, really respect about Josh Heupel is even when we play by the rules, and I feel like NCAA kind of used that against us. It's like, oh, you're admitting default. Okay, we're throwing the absolute bus at you. We've been able to work it out, and we've not allowed that to be an excuse on any of our our records, anything like that. Like that first year that he came in, we went 7-6. Arguably could have went 8-9 wins, and that we beat Ole Miss, we beat Purdue, whatever. But overall, man, I'm just hang on. I'm just proud of the way Josh Heupel handles these situations in such a mature manner. And sorry, I had a pop-up come up. And doesn't let that be the main thing. He said his piece. He got it out the way, and then said, "Hey, let's go play some ball."
Yeah, absolutely, man. And kind of moving on from this situation because we pretty much talked it to death at this point. Another question that he was asked, what is your message to the quarterbacks as they head into fall camp and compete for the starting job? His quote, "We're starting training camp. Nobody's going to earn it or lose it on day one. So, we don't want to see a guy make the same mistake twice, be a different player than they were when they finished spring ball, and command and control of what you're doing offensively. I mean, basically just go out there, show that you've improved from that spring ball, do your job, see the fundamentals, all that good stuff. Once you see the reps going on, once you see if a guy is taking that through the opening practices, the opening scrimmage and all that, there's your guy. But basically, it's all on the table. Go out there and earn it here in fall practice.
Well, they got to show me in the first week. They got to show me that they learned from the film study. Because I can promise you one thing they've been doing is mental reps over the summer, learning this offense on a more deeper level, whatever they got to do. That they've got the knowledge. They got to go and put it out there on the field now. They can't be messing up play, as far as call outs, reading the defensive line. Because the one thing for the quarterback, and I think this is why it's so hard for a true freshman or a redshirt freshman kind of just pick it up and go, is not only do they have to know what their 11's doing on their field, on any given play, they also got to know and read what the other 11 are doing. They got to know what all 21 other players are doing on the field when they're in command of that offense. And so what they got to do is they got to pick that up. I know they've been watching film. Can they take that, put it on the practice field? And like you said, Josh Heupel says this all the time, but don't make the same mistake twice. But I need to see if they can take what they've learned in film, go apply it on the field. But I understand they're young, but I think this is why it's also super important to also start developing the vocal leadership skills of one like a Dylan Sampson. We've got to have that on this team. And I think Deshaun Bishop's working his way into being that. But I also know Deshaun Bishop is a very reserved, polite young man, faithful Christian man. I mean, I know you've seen what he did at the media days. So powerful in his message. But we need to have vocal leaders in this offense. And I would love to see the leader of the offense, a quarterback, even though they're young, just assert themselves as being that vocal leader. Not only knowing what they need to do, but helping others find out what they need. And they're going to have plenty of help. And that's what I love about them going into this situation is the offensive line should be able to help the quarterback. So if the quarterback can step in and then help anybody else and show them, okay, they mean business. Like I understand they're a freshman on the paper, but they're acting like a junior. They're acting like a senior. They're taking a hold to this offense, and that's what I would love to see. But I think it's pretty obvious we're not gonna know a starter probably till second scrimmage. So maybe 2 weeks before the game we'll get an answer. But until then, who knows? Go play some ball.
Yeah, and you brought up a good point. I mean, having a quarterback as one of your offensive, your leaders as far as that vocal leader and stuff, that's very important. And you might have some people on the outside, or maybe they don't know sports as well, say, well, why would the freshman need to be the vocal leader? You've got this guy that he's been here 4 years. Shouldn't this guy be the vocal leader? And to a point, yes.
He can be.
But also, yes, he can be. But also, if your quarterback, who is the leader of this offense, he's the conductor, he's the captain, he's the one making everything happen. If he's not a vocal leader, then that tells me that, he doesn't have the trust, he doesn't have the faith in himself to, lead that offense the way he needs to. You want a guy that's going to be that vocal leader, because if he's vocal, if he's putting himself out there, then the team is going to follow him. If he's not a guy that's going to put himself out there, they're probably not going to trust him all that much. And I'm not taking a shot at Nico here, but I felt we saw some of that with Nico because he wasn't that vocal leader at all. A guy like Hendon Hooker and even Joe Milton, they were vocal leaders. Hendon more so than Joe.
Yep.
But you saw what they did. You saw how the team rallied behind them. And Nico just wasn't that guy as far as a vocal leader. Now, he had talent on the field, but you could see that there was things that he was held back. And whether it be confidence, whether it be, maybe the team not fully trusting him, we don't know. But you could tell that he just didn't command that offense the way that a guy like Hendon Hooker did. And that's what you're going to have from one of these guys, no matter if they're a freshman or if they're a fifth-year senior going into it.
Yeah, and I mean, a leader, being a leader on a team, something you got to develop and establish those relationships and whatnot. Because just being a leader, I think a lot of people kind of think that just means they're bossing everybody else around. And to that, I say you've never been on a team before. A leader is about taking accountability, taking ownership of the mistakes, and also having the knowledge, the IQ of the game to be able to help others in their situation. If they do mess up, hey, man, tell them why they messed up and how to help them or take that. Whatever. But it's also about, like in the media, off the field, it's about what you say to the press in certain situations and how you got to show your guys that you have their back too. Like it's one of those things they're going to have to develop. And I get that. And that's probably not something they're going to have in the very first fall practice. But that's something that, like I'm saying, that they've got to develop that. And I think that's going to help them establish who the starting quarterback is going to be. But, hey, enough of the offensive speak and enough about Heupel. I kind of want to pivot here. Jim Knowles also took the stand. So let's talk a little bit about defense. I watched a little bit about what Jim Knowles, man, the personality, man. I definitely laid back kind of guy. I feel like he's kind of a comedian. In a way, I feel like he kind of reminds me of Rick Barnes, but I feel like he might be even a little bit less fiery, at least on the podium, than Rick Barnes. But tell me, man, what excites you about this defense and what he was saying?
Man, the confidence that he has got in his defense. He's very confident. He knows what he's got in this room. He's still got question marks, obviously. I mean, he was asked the question during the press conference, how do you feel about how this team is going to get after the quarterback, how they're going to rush the passer and all that stuff? And he said, we'll see, but I've got confidence in my room and what we've built in this room as a staff, as a team, all this stuff. He's super confident. And obviously he said what everybody else, including us, has said all off season. The linebacker room is obviously the deepest, most talented room. I mean, he admitted that at the press conference, but he said the safety room is a question mark, not because of the talent or who is in that room, but because you don't know who's going to step up. I mean, there's guys in that room that can go out there and be an All-American this year, and we just won't know until they hit the field.
That's coach speak because he wants everybody to focus on this. We're going to be fine at the safety position. I fully believe that. I think we're actually going to – our back seven, and I've said this since like the spring, man. I'm so excited about them. I think they're going to ball out. He said something to me that kind of – the first time, like, the hair on the back of my neck kind of stood up is it was a female reporter that asked the question, kind of something along the lines of, like, hey, with the amount of transfers you were able to bring in, with the coaching staff you were able to bring in, do you think that kind of helps your expectations or your objectives of the season? And Jim Knowles fired back, and he's like, well, it doesn't. And I was like, oh, where's he going with this? And he's like, well,
yes.
He said, our job's to stop the other team, regardless.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. He's like, no. He said, no excuses. We keep them from scoring. And
that's
I
one
was
of those
just like,
comments that, as a fan, when you hear that, you're like, let me suit up on this defense.
That was me, bro. I was in the driver's seat driving my truck, and I just immediately like tightened the seatbelt, like locking it down. You know what I'm saying? Like I was putting it up. Like, come on now, coach, talk to me. Like I don't know, man. I got fired up when he said that because that shows me that. I mean, he's saying what he's got to say. Don't get me wrong, but I love that confidence that you were talking about. I think Jim knows he's already putting the expectation on himself to go ahead and be the best he can be in year one. No, that was probably my favorite answer of the day from Jim Knowles.
Yeah, but ultimately, I mean, he said and did all the right things just like he needed to. A lot of it was coach speak, but you could tell he's confident in his room, man.
Oh, yeah.
Joey Halsley, I didn't get to hear all of his comments, but Joey Halsley, I mean, I feel like he's pretty confident in his room too. I feel like this entire coaching staff, they know what they have. And everyone's talking about the quarterback position, but they know what they have on this team. And they're not boasting about it, but they're confident. You can tell that from the entire coaching staff.
Well, in Halsley's case, I mean, you talk about the guys that they have on the offensive side of the ball now. They finally, like, you know how we always talk about how a coach needs 4 or 5 years to get their players in the system? Mm-hmm. They've got their players. I mean, half the offensive line was recruited out of high school. The tight end, Ethan Davis, recruited out of high school. All 3 of your receivers, potentially. No, it's not even potentially. Even I would say the top 4 string of your wide receiver, because Radarius Jackson, TK Keys, and I'm missing one, Travis Smith Jr. So your top 5 wide receivers, realistically, are all recruited out of high school. Deshaun Bishop recruited out of high school. Both your quarterbacks are out. I'm telling you, man, they have literally gotten their guys in this system, and this offense is about to reflect that. I think he's low-key excited about what this is going to be because I'm telling you, I know in this new day and age of transfer portal, and trust me, we have utilized it. I'm not trying to get away from that. But we are 80 to 90%, Tennessee recruited through and through type kids on this offense, and I can't wait to see them go to work together. It's going to be fun, and I think Halsley's got exactly what he wants in this situation. He's got talented, experienced wide receivers. He's got the best back potentially in the league. And I'm going to go ahead and hot shot. Like, we've got probably one of the best tight ends in the league as well. He's just not been able to hit his potential.
Maybe the country.
I agree with that. He's just got to stay healthy. Ethan Davis has shown me so many flashes of greatness. He's just got to stay healthy. But Deshaun Brain right behind him, though. I mean, like, we have a good 1-2 punch, and in this offense, we're running 2 tight ends quite often. So, no, I just love it, man. I think they're in the best position they can be on the offense. We're making a ton of changes on defense. It's exactly what you want. I just need to know the only other phase of the game that we've not really talked about, and we've had a transfer kicker come in, but I need to know how's the special teams going to look because we were pretty bad last year. After Boo Carter, that whole situation, we couldn't even field a freaking punt without fumbling it. And the kickoff in the bowl game, we fumbled it, but we ended up taking it back, and it was a crazy play. But, like, who's going to lead or, who's going to step up, be that return man, and really be electric in the return team and special teams and whatnot? Because that's really the third question there, and it'd be nice to all 3 phases click. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, before we move ahead to our segment 2, we did have coaches poll drop today.
Ooh,
Skylar, where did Tennessee fall?
Well, I'm gonna guess. I haven't seen it. Oh, we did crack the top 20. Let's go.
Tennessee at number 18.
That blows my mind.
So
the coaches know more than the media.
That's what I was going to ask you.
That's what I'm talking about.
So you and I are both with the same mindset that we follow the coaches poll instead of the AP poll. Coaches actually know what they're talking about. So with this being said, Tennessee being at 18, is this SEC bias from coaches? Or do the coaches know something that the media does not know about Tennessee this year in this roster?
I don't think it's SEC bias, or else A&M would be in the top 5. I think they would be a little bit higher. Also, Texas would probably be in the top 3. I can't believe they have Georgia over Texas, to be honest with you, with all the hype. I don't know, man. I think this is people understanding that just because you have a quarterback battle doesn't mean that you don't have a full team.
Exactly.
And the amount of experience that Tennessee's bringing back on both sides of the ball, granted, the defense has kind of transformed a little bit, but they still got some experienced dudes. But the offense, man, in general, the most returners I can remember, I think we have like 9 total starters back on the offense.
It's something like that.
You replace Joey and a wide receiver and a lineman, so I guess 8.
Yeah,
that's insane. Like that like let's go to work. And I think the coaches read through that. The media, I feel like, really have kind of undermined Tennessee just because of the quarterback competition, and also because it's a first-year Jim Knowles defense. But I think the coaches can see through that, read through that, and who knows, man? This list is kind of wonky though. Like it's hard to make sense out of much of it. Like LSU, obviously the Lane Kiffin buzz, I get it. Penn State is up there, which is crazy to me. I'm okay with Missouri cracking the top 25. I'm actually surprised another team didn't. But I mean, overall, man, I think this is just coaches or knowing ball. I don't take this as SEC bias. But what say you, Michael? I mean, how you feel on this?
Sorry, I've got an unhappy little man. He's about to go to bed.
He's wanting to talk, man. No, I understand.
No,
7 toes down, or I guess I should say 7 toes standing on business. MIZ. Hey, y'all cracked the top 25, and I'm here for it. I'm pretty high on Missouri. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a whole lot of disagreements with this list. I mean, Ohio State, Oregon, Georgia, Texas. I completely agree with that. Notre Dame. I mean, they'll be in the top 10 regardless.
USC supposedly has like a pretty good quarterback that we've just not seen, but it's Lincoln Riley, so he's probably going to have a good quarterback.
USC, I'm not buying stock in that until I see it.
No, I think that's Big Ten bias. I'm joking.
Something like that. No,
I'm just making stuff up.
Penn State, I'm also not buying yet.
I agreed. I said the same thing.
I want to see what Matt Campbell has got first before I.
What about Washington cracking the top 20?
Washington, I'm okay with. They
really
they struggled a little bit last year, but they also brought a lot of production back from last season.
Fair enough.
A team that I feel like could make some noise. 19 maybe a little bit high. I might have had them somewhere around 23, 24. But overall, the teams on this list, I think I'm gonna agree with it.
I think this is kind of like a prove it year. I feel like for Dan Lanning at Oregon.
Oh yeah.
Man's been all around. Dude, I feel like actually, if I could compare, Dan Lanning and Steve Sark are like mirrored, dude. As far as like where they've had their programs the last 3-4 years, and what they've achieved, I feel like for both of those coaches, and might even put in Marcus Freeman in that same slot, dude. Like all three of those coaches, this is really a go get it year. I mean, I think Ohio State, they're probably a little bit high on them, but whatever. I don't know. We'll see how it is.
Yeah.
4 Big 12 teams kind of threw me. I agree with that.
Yeah, I'll agree with that too.
I also don't agree with Clemson at 23, but whatever.
Well, Utah being in there and their with a first year head coach.
Right.
Yeah, they've got the talent, but man, I don't know. You got to prove it for me too.
Houston doesn't make sense to me.
Houston, I would actually flip Houston and Utah, and even then, I would still take Utah out of the top 25 more than likely. Houston's returning a lot of talent from last year's squad that was pretty decent overall. Now, obviously, this is not the AP poll, but let's go ahead and do this anyway. There is a team every single year
in the top 10
that starts in the top 10 that finishes.
This
unranked.
isn't the AP though. This isn't like a fairly accurate. This is not necessarily based off of this.
Correct.
We can still play that game if you want, but
let's play that game.
I 100% know who my answer is.
Who is your answer?
It's one of two: Oklahoma or Ole Miss.
My answer is Ole Miss.
I think my answer is Ole Miss too, but Oklahoma could be.
They very well could be.
Oklahoma and Ole Miss are like some of the biggest. Like, could be an amazing year. Could be a year to forget. But Oklahoma, I feel like with all the hype they got going in, man, if they don't make that playoff, if they lose like that second game or that third game of the season, I could see them falling off the rails because they're going to come short on expectations.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm agree with you. I think Ole Miss is that team. And I'm not picking them because they're 10th. I'm just being genuine. It's first year head coach.
So as far as a team that you don't see here, they're not in the top 25. Is there a team that you think could finish? I'm not going to say top 10, even though I think the AP is normally there's an unranked team that finishes in the top 10. But we'll just go, is there an unranked team that you see finishing in the top 25, maybe even top 15?
I don't know if they'll get to top 10, but I know the league that they're in and the coach that they have, they definitely have the potential to shake the room, and that's Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech.
I'm going outside the SEC there, but they've got a favorable schedule in the SEC or the ACC, excuse me, and they've got a coach that's definitely been there and done that. Now, can he win the big game? No, but can he go 10-2? Yeah, and that'll get you in the top 15. So, yeah, I'm gonna go with Virginia Tech.
Yeah, that's a very good answer, and I'm sitting here looking for a minute, trying to think who my team would be because I've got an answer in mind, but based on my prediction for their schedule.
That's why I went outside of because you're probably going to go Auburn or something, right?
My thought was Auburn.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah, I had to go outside the SEC for this because I don't see a team in the SEC that's not on this list that can make it. I really don't. I mean, maybe. Well, Missouri's in there, so I can't. Yeah.
Yeah,
it could be South Carolina, but I doubt it.
I think I'm going to go ACC. I'm going to go based on a hype, not because I think this will happen. I'm going to go Florida State.
Not a bad pick either, but the ACC we both agree is the league that could do it because
The ACC
whatever that league is.
Well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bill
but no,
Belichick gets fired this year, right?
100%.
Right on.
Yeah.
Let's wind it up.
So-
Mizzou podcast. What's up, Skeet? He says, my question, will we see a Pac-12 team ranked before the season ends? How many teams are in the Pac-12 now? They reloaded. Yes, I think we will see a Pac-12 team ranked before the season ends. But will they finish ranked? I don't know. But I think at some point, a Pac-12 team, just because of their record, is going to get ranked. I think I agree with that.
It's very possible. I've actually got a hot take for a team that I think is going to have an outside shot of making the playoffs this year because of the NCAA doing away with the the
Group of 5 automatic bids?
Well, no, the Group of 5 automatic bids is still there, but they're doing away with the probation that a team has moving from the FCS to the FBS level. I think you could see North Dakota State make the college football playoffs this year because of being the highest ranked Group of 5 team.
I ain't gonna argue that one, but that was the coaches' poll. You can expect the AP to mirror that in most ways. Maybe off by position or two for most teams. But the AP will be different. Don't get me wrong. But expect Tennessee to probably be 20 in the AP, I would say. 22 in the AP. I don't think the AP is going to be as high on them as the coaches' poll. Like I said, I think coaches understand that just because there's a question mark at quarterback. It's funny, man. I feel like Alabama, and this is taking the orange glasses off. Seriously. Follow me. Alabama also has a quarterback controversy. Right? I'm not even going to say controversy. They just don't know who their starter is right now. But guess what Alabama also doesn't have? A freaking run game, dude. So they don't know who's throwing the ball. They don't know who's running the ball. Like, I feel like that's way bigger question marks than what Tennessee has on the offense. It's strictly just the quarterback. And they know they got a 1,000-yard rusher coming back. And they know they got an offensive line that's just absolutely hungry. So, like, of course, we could talk defense. I would say Alabama has the edge on defense right now. But are they great? No. So, I mean, is Tennessee going to take a step forward? That's the only way they can go. So, it blows my mind that Alabama gets all this coverage right now in the offseason about how the biggest question marks in the SEC is Alabama's quarterback competition. Why? I mean, it doesn't matter to me. I don't feel like Alabama's going to go win 11 games regardless. Like, it doesn't matter. So, it just blows my mind how both teams are covered differently. But I think Alabama's still benefiting from the history of, obviously, that team usually being year in, year out a championship competitive team, caliber team.
Yeah, you're probably right on that. So that is our segment 1, talking about Tennessee's media days before fall practice begins, talking about the coaches poll top 25. So now we're going to move ahead to our segment 2. We're going to give some more schedule predictions, but before we do that, do want to give you our segment 2 sponsor, which is Kaizen Painting. Do you want a colorful life? Kaizen is a painting and drywall company that provides residential, commercial, exterior, and interior services. At Kaizen Painting, we understand the importance of a beautifully painted home and properly installed and repaired drywall. We're here to bring your vision to life. We care about providing you with a personalized, efficient, and quality service. If you live in Knoxville and surroundings, contact us for a free estimate at KaizenPainting.com. Color your life the Kaizen way. So tonight, we're going to start with Ole Miss. Ole Miss, new head coach. He was the defensive coordinator last year, but new head coach, Pete Golding. Returning Trinidad Chambliss at quarterback. Returning some other pieces.
It's getting juicy, baby.
How does Ole Miss do this year? Skylar, what are your thoughts on Ole Miss going into this season?
I think this is really bad to say. I think their Super Bowl was 9-19. The very first SEC game of the year. I think Ole Miss's season, they could be freaking playoff bound if they beat LSU. They could also be 7-5 if they lose to LSU. Like, it blows my mind how important of a game that is for Ole Miss to start the, because I mean there's just going to be so much. And I get it. The coaches did a great job in the media days and whatnot of playing the whole hey, we're good. Business is business. We're going to go play ball. It is what it is. But I'm telling you, just as a fan base perspective, that game's probably going to be more hostile than Tennessee LSU is going to be. And I can't wait. It's going to be good. But Ole Miss, man, I don't think as high as a lot of people are on them, even though they do have some key pieces returning. I do think Lane Kiffin had a way. I think he's a great coach. I think that's why he's getting paid a lot of money. But I don't see Ole Miss repeating to the playoffs this year.
I completely agree with you. I've made it known numerous times. I'm not a Pete Golding fan. I think Ole Miss.
I like him as a guy. I don't.
Oh yeah, he's a great guy. I just don't think he's the right hire to be the head coach for a team that just went to the playoffs. And you can sit here and tell me all you want to that. Oh well, he won a couple of games in the playoffs.
He did.
That's more than Heupel has done.
He did do that.
Yeah, but that was Lane Kiffin's team.
But he did do it.
He did win games.
This is still Lane Kiffin's team technically. I think that's why it's so juicy, man. There's so many players that didn't go with Lane Kiffin that stayed at Ole Miss and that are having to play Lane Kiffin. Oh, man, I'm telling you, it's going to be a good one. Mizzou Podcast, Skeet said, they kept the wrong quarterback. I agree.
I don't disagree.
I agree with that. Austin Simmons is going to tear it up in Como. Also gave us starting slot receiver and DB1. Thanks, Rebs. Yeah, man. I have been high. I know you've been missing the last couple shows. I don't blame you for it. I understand. I've been super high on Austin Simmons. And I agree. I think he is a baller of a quarterback. Trinidad's not bad, man. It's not even that it's just not the same team. So he's definitely going to have to cover the weight. He can do it. But without further ado, I think I'm going to go in and get this thing over with. Is that all right?
All right, go for it, man.
All right, I'm going to start them out with a win over Louisville and Nashville. I can't believe they're playing in Nashville. And in the Nissan Stadium, I'm assuming?
Yeah, and that game's going to be on a Sunday night. That's not even on Saturday.
That's crazy.
So that's that Labor Day weekend, Sunday night game. Is that not one of the greatest weekends in sports? You get Thursday games, you get Friday games, you get Saturday, you get Sunday, and you get Monday.
Oh, yeah.
Just a full weekend of college football.
That's right, man. This is going to be a good one. This is it, man. This is the pick of the century, Ole Miss versus LSU, 9-19. How's it going to go? And they do get them at home. And I think that is so key. Is it going to help them? I know what I wrote down on my paper, but I still don't feel good about picking it. But I think they lose to LSU. That's going to be so sour. But then they pick it up. They go to Florida and pick up that win. They go at Vanderbilt. And this is a scary spot with it being there's a bye week in between. I think that helps them out a ton. But I think they will still drop this game to Vanderbilt, unfortunately. I have to respect and honor my previous pick in Vanderbilt. I have them winning Ole Miss, so I have to respect that. It's already not looking good, Ole Miss, but they I think, pick up and get the rivalry win. I'm going to call it a rivalry just because it's going to be the battle of the quarterbacks there. But I do think they beat Missouri. I think home field will actually help them in that game a ton. I don't like the spot, though, because they turn around. The dates are...
Yeah, I did. I just realized I messed up the dates on that.
Did they play at Texas first?
No, so the games are correct. The dates are incorrect. So it should be 10-17
against Missouri.
31.
I got you. I was just making sure that the dates were wrong, not the games. But okay, right on. So they're still playing Missouri on the 17th then. That's totally fine. But at Texas, man, that's going to be another great game. I just don't think they're going to be able to do it. So Ole Miss is now 4-3 to start the year, going into their second bye week. Or no, I'm sorry. See, the dates got me again. Going into their final game in October. I do think they will. I do think they beat. Yeah, they will. They'll beat Auburn. I'm trying to make sure that I got my picks right. Let's see. Georgia, Ole Miss. Ole Miss has kind of had Georgia's number, man. And I've been struggling with this one so much. Been struggling with this one. But I think this is a great year for Georgia. So I'm going to have them losing to Georgia. At Oklahoma, this thing could really go off the rails, but I'm going to have them correcting the ship in the final 3 games. And I have them winning out. So I will have Ole Miss finishing the year 8-4. With their ceiling being 10-2. I still feel like they're going to lose to Texas, Georgia, or even if they beat, let's say they beat Georgia, I think they may lose to Oklahoma or something along that. Like I just feel like 10-2 is the absolute ceiling with this team. And then I'll say the floor though, man, this could really get south really quick. I think their floor is, man, I think their floor could be 5-7, really. So I don't know. Pete Golden in his first year, 8-4. He's got a lot of talent. Can he utilize it? That LSU game is so critical because I think if they can beat LSU, I think that's a swing game for like a Vanderbilt, to where instead of starting out 3-2, they can start out 5-0. Who knows? So I just, that LSU game is so important. But I'm gonna finish again 8-4. Floors 5-7, ceilings 10-2, and I have them losing to LSU, Vandy, Texas, and Georgia.
Right on, man. So it's not a bad schedule prediction. You're going to have a lot of people, hating on it because, they made the playoffs last year. They got all these players back, and, I could care less about that.
But we can sit here and argue, even as Tennessee fans, Vanderbilt probably should have been in the playoff too. So I had them losing to other. You can't? Bro, they dribbled us like a drum in our own building. Like, I give credit where credit's due, and that was 100% Tennessee knew they weren't playing for a whatever. I'm not trying to make it about that. I'm just saying.
I know it.
But Vanderbilt, I do think is a different team this year. So I don't feel great about that pick, but I'm just afraid that Ole Miss is going to be so caught up on that LSU game. It's also their second road game in a row, albeit there is a bye week in between. I don't know. I gotta honor the Vanderbilt pick though.
There we go. So let's clear off these games here. So 8-4. You said 5-7 the floor?
Yes. 5-7 the floor, and I don't like having a big range like that, but I just Ole Miss has got a tough schedule, man. It's a sneaky, tough schedule. You got LSU, Texas, Georgia, Oklahoma, Missouri. I've got Missouri going 9-3. Like, that's a tough one.
Yeah, that is pretty tough for this one. All right, so Ole Miss. Let me pull off my schedule here and make sure that I don't mess up any games. All right, so starting off the season, Louisville in Nashville. I do think this is going to be a much tougher game than a lot of people are making it seem, because Louisville has been a tough opponent for teams recently. But I do think that Ole Miss has the talent to win this game. Charlotte in week 2. I think that is actually supposed to be the 12th, because that's a very short turnaround.
No, you said they're playing on Sunday.
Yeah, but the 11th, that is the 11th, that's a Friday night.
Oh, yeah, you're right. 12. Yeah. It should have been the 12th. It's fine.
Yeah, it's 12. You could tell that these aren't ones that I made up in advance. I did these today before the podcast because there's some typos there. But you know what? Let's get some clicks because of it. Anyway.
That's usually when we get our clicks. It's fine.
That's exactly right. So, no, they do beat Charlotte. LSU, you mentioned it. This is the Super Bowl for Ole Miss this year. This game means more to them than any other game on the schedule. They circled this as soon as Lane Kiffin went to LSU. And because of that, they get the win over LSU.
As they should. I hope LSU eats every bit of that money they just spent on him.
They get a huge victory over LSU.
All right, Ole Miss is winning it all.
Didn't they have a letdown the next week?
Oh, no.
Florida gets them at home. and Florida gets the victory. They're riding high off of that victory over LSU, and they end up dropping that game to Florida. Let's see, Vanderbilt. Week after that, I do have Ole Miss getting back on track, getting a victory against Vanderbilt in that game. Then Missouri, I also have them beating Missouri. So they're starting off the season pretty good, 5-1.
Oh yeah.
Then they go on the road to play against Texas.
Talk to me, Goose.
Yeah, they're not getting a win against Texas. Texas is going to bring them back down to reality. So that has them sitting at 5-2. Then they play against Auburn. And let me check Auburn, what I had them doing. I did have a victory for Ole Miss in this game.
There you go.
So bowl eligible at this point in the season. Then we get to November. And you got that Georgia game at home. I feel like they dropped that game to Georgia. You mentioned it. That's been a close game in recent years. But I think that Georgia is going to get this game. Probably won't be a blowout, but I think they win comfortably. 2 touchdown type deal.
Okay. Yeah.
On the road against Oklahoma, I think that this is a good Oklahoma team this year.
I agree.
That's got the chance to fall off. But I don't know if they're going to fall off like some people hope they do. So I've got a loss against Oklahoma in this game. Wofford, the week before the Egg Bowl, I have got a win there. And then Mississippi State, the Egg Bowl. This is a Friday night, not a Thanksgiving night game. I do think that getting the game at home is going to help a lot. I've got a win over Mississippi State. So I have also got 8-4 for Ole Miss this year. I've just got it a different way. Now,
not much different.
No, not a whole lot different. The floor for this Ole Miss team, I think I'm going to go 6-6 as the floor.
That's probably better.
I'm not quite to the 5-7 level. I've got 6-6 going on here. I think you drop the game to LSU, and then you drop one other game somewhere on this schedule to go 6-6. I still think they get bowl eligibility regardless. The ceiling for this team, I think I'm with you. I think it's 10-2. I think you can win. I think guaranteed losses to this team, Texas and Georgia. I think you could win at Oklahoma and at Florida. But I don't see a win over Texas or Georgia. So I do think that, 10-2 ceiling, but I'm predicting 8-4 for Ole Miss this season.
Sorry, man. I can't get over it. You being a good dad and all. Jeez. He's out. We had to call in reinforcements. What a beautiful scene. No, man.
He didn't want to leave me earlier.
I heard that.
So,
that's because that boy
he
was
was
tired.
not happy. He was not happy. Well, he's not getting his normal bedtime routine. I told you earlier before we started. So my wife is actually at a concert tonight. Kind of a last minute
good for
deal.
her.
All of her siblings are getting together. It's the first time that they've ever been able to get together like this and go to a concert. So they're going to that First Bank Amphitheater that's right there on the corner of 840 and 65 there in Cool Springs.
Yep.
So they're all getting together and doing that. So called my mom down and said, hey, I've got podcast tonight. He can sit with me as long as he's behaving. But, his bedtime is normally 8 o'clock, so he's about 25 minutes past that. And he
we could tell, my man. It was no, that was awesome. Great job. Good stuff. Well, no, Ole Miss, man, we actually both had 8-4. That's crazy. Both had 10-2 as the ceiling as well. Just a little different on the worst case. And I'm kind of regretting.
Close,
I'm regretting the 5-7 worst case because I do feel like Ole Miss is a better team than that. I'm just afraid that mentally, how is this team going to react if they lose to LSU? I don't know. We'll see.
That's a great point there. But now let's move on to our segment 3. But before we do that, I do have a word.
Come on.
From our segment 3 sponsors.
At Bowie's Heating and Air, we offer 24/7 HVAC services for all your residential, commercial, and new construction applications. Guys, when your home feels off and the comfort's not there, do yourself a favor and call Bowie's Heating and Air.
That is Bowie's Heating and Air. Make sure you do call them for all of your heating and air needs. You know, it has cooled off just a little bit, but it's still warm out there. I know they're still getting lots of phone calls. They're enjoying the business. So make sure that if you do have problems with your heat and air, you do call Bowie's.
Not a boy. All right. Bring on the LSU schedule.
LSU. First, let me get the correct sponsor up. I did have the correct one last segment. We just got to make sure that Bowie gets on there for what they need to. Let's get the LSU schedule up here.
Boom.
Dates are still slightly off. That's supposed to be the 12th instead of the 11th.
Hey,
and it's actually supposed to be the 5th instead of the 6th. But the teams are correct. Locations are correct. I made sure of that.
Oh, yeah. Wait, how did you do that? It's actually supposed to be the 5th. Yes, because Ole Miss.
I did Ole Miss before I did LSU.
Because Ole Miss is playing on Sunday, not LSU. I got you. Right on.
Yeah, so
boy,
LSU,
this gets juicy in game 1 for LSU, man. This is good.
It does. LSU, obviously, new head coach, at least new to them head coach, Lane Kiffin coming in. You also brought in Sam Leavitt. You know, all Tennessee fans know about the
holy schedule.
The way that they were able to get Sam Leavitt.
This is disgusting. Sorry, I'm just in awe. I mean, look at you play Clemson, Ole Miss, A&M first month.
All in September.
Let's skirt to November.
I was going to say fairly decent October, but then, yeah, November.
Alabama, Texas at Tennessee. And I'm not even going to – I wouldn't throw it in there normally, but it's just after those 3 games, you got to go on the road to Arkansas.
I'm not worried about that game.
I'm not worried about it either, but I'm just saying it's on the road in the SEC, and you probably just lost 2 or 3 games that you probably weren't supposed to. I don't know. Maybe you were supposed to. This is disgusting. All right, LSU. How you feeling?
All right, starting off against Clemson. This game is at home.
The real Death Valley.
I've got to win against Clemson here. This comes down to who do I trust more, Lane Kiffin or Dabo? If it was 10 years ago, Dabo. Right now, I trust Lane Kiffin a little bit
You can't
more.
trust Lane Kiffin, period. That man will leave you in a heartbeat.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere this year. He just got on campus. He's going to coach at least 1 year. But no, I got to win against Clemson to start off the season. Louisiana Tech in week 2, I've also got to win. Then, as mentioned on the Ole Miss one, I do have a loss to Ole Miss. I just think that Ole Miss is going to be up for this game more than LSU is going to. This game means so much more for Ole Miss than it does for LSU going into it. So I've got a loss there for LSU. Texas A&M. I'm very high on Texas A&M this year, even if this game is at home for LSU. Give Texas A&M the win here, starting off the season 2-2. Not exactly what Lane Kiffin and company were looking for, but I do have them starting off that way. McNeese, you get a good bounce back here before you bounce back against Kentucky at home, on the road. You get a win against Mississippi State as well. You're looking good in October. Let me double check my Auburn one here. I do also have a win for LSU against Auburn. So after starting off 2-2, a 4-0 October month to go 6-2 entering November. Then, as you mentioned, you get to that November schedule.
And you've already got 2 losses, Lane Kiffin. How you gonna finish the season in this hypothetical here?
Yeah, so Alabama.
They do have them
game
at home.
is at
Both
home.
of them, actually. Alabama and Texas. At home.
You know what? I've got them pulling one off against Alabama here. I've got them winning that game. Texas at home. I don't have them winning this one. I've got Texas winning. At Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, me being a Tennessee fan, I'm putting those orange glasses on. I've got Tennessee winning this game, right? Do I? Here's what I've got to say about this game here.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of the schedule is going to tell a lot about both of these teams. The game is in Knoxville. Here's what I do know about Tennessee. Tennessee is going to have a good offense. They're going to have decent quarterback play at worst. The defense is going to be improved. How much improved? I don't know. The defense is going to be improved. Here's what I don't know about LSU. How is Sam Leavitt going to do carrying this team this year?
Will he even still be a starter?
True.
He's got a decent offensive line, but can he? He's not played a healthy season since his Arizona State?
Since the year that they went to the playoffs
with Cam Scatteraboo.
Scatteraboo led the team.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting at. Sam Leavitt has not had to lead a team yet. He was going to have to last year at Arizona State, but you mentioned it. He got hurt midway through the year, out the rest of the season. We weren't able to see what he could do finishing off. Yep. He was getting hot midway through the year, but how was he going to finish it? Sam Leavitt could come out there and he could be a Heisman contender this year. Or he could fall flat on his face. I'm kind of going in the middle here. I think he's going to have a decent season. But I think that this road environment here is going to be probably the second most hostile environment that he's been to this season, just because Ole Miss is going to be absolutely rough.
It's crazy they got to go on the road to both of those teams in the same year.
This is confirmed to be a night game.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Tennessee wins this game.
That's crazy. That a boy.
But then Arkansas to finish the season, they do get a win in that game. So I also have LSU going 8-4 this season.
8-4 ain't gonna do it for them LSU fans, man. Ain't no way.
No, not
That's
happening.
A Brian Kelly. That is a Brian Kelly special right there. Oh man.
Worst case scenario for LSU. I'm also going to go the same as I did with Ole Miss. I think 6-6 is worst case here. I think you lose to Clemson, you lose to Alabama. I feel good about them against every other team. The big question mark to me is that Auburn game. That could go either way depending on how Auburn's season is going, how LSU season is going, but I still think they go 6-6 in this season. So if you lose to Auburn, maybe you win either Clemson or Alabama, something like that. The ceiling for this team, though, is 11-1. I think you lose one game because let me explain my reasoning behind this. All right, so Ole Miss and Tennessee are both on the road, but would you agree with me that they are much easier opponents than Texas and Texas A&M as of this point?
No, I agree 100%. I think Ole Miss and Tennessee are the winnable games that are on the road. But I look at and say if they're beating both of those teams, I don't see them. I don't see them beating every other team. Like I just don't see them beating A&M, Texas, or Alabama, or yeah.
I don't disagree, but
it's your schedule, brother.
I think that the absolute ceiling for this team, you're going to lose a game. Yeah. I'm not predicting any team in the SEC to go undefeated this year. So you're going to lose a game. I think it's going to be to either Texas or Texas A&M. But I think that all the other games are on the table at that point. So that's why I've got my ceiling at 11-1 for LSU. But I do think that 8-4 is where they're going to be this season.
Right on. Oh boy, this is getting juicy. All right, I get the finale of the show. Let's do it. Just go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead. All right, here we go. I agree with you. I think they're going to start out 2-0. I do think they'll get the win over Clemson. I don't want them to get the win over Clemson. I got to be honest with you. I just don't. I don't want them to win, and I don't want them to win any of these games that I'm about to pick. But I think they're just going to. As I stated in the previous Ole Miss prediction, I think Ole Miss is actually going to beat them. So they got a loss. I'm joking. I just went back and forth. You see what I did there? No, I think LSU is going to win here. I think Texas A&M at home is huge for LSU, and I think they pick up the win as well.
Ooh, you got them starting hot.
I do. I'm telling you, this is going to start out the way Lane Kiffin wants it to start out. McNeese at Kentucky, Mississippi State, they are rolling, and they're going to have the hype train behind them. I think they go and win at Auburn. And I believe, as long as I'm looking at my stuff correct, I ain't lied a single time yet. So, Alabama, Texas, Tennessee, Arkansas is where it gets, let's see here, right? And I agree with you. I think they actually lose to Alabama. I think the 8-0, even though they got Alabama at home and Texas at home for that matter, I think it's a little bit too much. Who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. I think they lose to Texas to follow that up. But this is Tennessee's worst nightmare. I think the spot that they're in, even though they're going on the road to a hostile environment, I think they beat us, man. I think they get it done on the road at Tennessee, and I think they get it done against Arkansas. I am so against this own prediction. I can't tell you how much I'm against it. But I do have LSU going 10-2 in their first year under Lane Kiffin. I think if they do anything less than 10-2, I think the folks at LSU are pissed. You don't pay for a head coach. You don't pay to fire a head coach and then pay the head coach the amount of money you paid on top of bringing in, basically giving him an open checkbook to bring in any player that he wants. And you don't settle for anything less than a playoff. And I think this is the type of caliber of a schedule that you've got to do pretty much what I'm predicting you to do to get to the playoff. You may could substitute the Alabama loss for maybe a Tennessee loss or an A&M loss. Ole Miss, you name it, but they got to go 10-2 this year. If not, I can't imagine what the folks in Baton Rouge are going to be doing. So, with that being said, I'm pretty high on LSU. I'm not afraid to admit it, but I don't want them to be 10-2. So, I think their worst case is 7-5. They could lose to Tennessee. They could lose to A&M and Ole Miss. I just don't see many other losses on the schedule. So 7-5 is the worst case. I think their best case is 10-2. This is once again another team that I am predicting them to do their best case, because you can substitute my losses for their wins in any manner you want. I just don't see them winning 11 games this year. Period. So give me LSU at 10-2, and I only have them losing the back-to-back games to start November. Alabama and Texas, and in a situation where LSU may be ranked in the top 5 when they lose those games. I mean, it could be absolute showdowns in those two games, but who knows? That's where I got LSU.
All right, so much higher on LSU than I thought.
I don't want to be,
but I agree with you that as far as the expectations, how can they not be at the very least 10-2?
Yeah.
So I mean, I've got them definitely going below expectations this season. Next week are two teams that we'll be talking about, Oklahoma and Alabama. So we'll see how we have those games shaping out there. One thing that we did not mention at the beginning of the show that I do want to give a shout out for, shout out to VFL Jason Swain. For those that did not see, obviously, Roman Harper, who was the color guy with Mike Keith last year for Tennessee football, he decided that he was going to go back with the Titans. I believe he took that color commentating job, if I'm not mistaken, with the Titans. So he's going back there. He's doing that. So that left the color spot for the Vol Network open. And for those that did not see the video or did not listen to 99.1 The Sports Animal, Mike Keith came in and crashed the Josh and Swain segment in the middle of the day. And he asked Jason Swain if he would like to be the color commentator for the Vol Network starting this season. And Jason accepted live on the air. So it'll be... That. He did.
Yeah, don't lie to yourself. but it was really cool.
Yeah, but no, it will be Mike Keith and Jason Swain this fall. And that was the first person that I mentioned. Whenever the color commentating spot came open, I said, I feel like Jason Swain would be absolutely perfect for that spot there. So that was my first guess of who they were going to get. I know there were some other guys that were mentioned in there. Some people mentioned Eric Ainge, and while I think that he would be good at that, he's got a young kid. He's got a couple of young kids. I didn't like that would be something that he would want to do. As far as
Eric
that
Ainge
goes.
enjoys the game like environment, whatnot.
That
too
too,
much.
yeah, he enjoys it a lot. There were some other players mentioned as well, but I just felt like
It did make sense for it to be a former player. You got to have a guy that knows the game, and can see it from an analyst perspective. Being that color commentator, you got to be able to describe the play in a way that only a player probably could.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. So I felt like Jason Swain was the perfect pick for that, and I feel like, I'm going to go back to the times of I'm going to watch the game, but I'm going to have that sound off, and I'm going to have the Vol Network in the background listening to that game.
As you should. So, I love when they do the highlights of the games and they put the voiceover basically of the radio broadcast rather than just the TV broadcast. It's good.
Yeah, some of the videos,
SEC commentators on the SEC network, they're just not good. So it's nice to.
Yeah, some of the videos that I've got coming up on our countdown, I've made sure to go find the videos that have the radio broadcast over the actual game. So be ready for some of those coming up, because we got some really fun plays coming up down the stretch here in the last month of the season as we're counting down. Tomorrow, obviously, 31 days, so we are literally within a month. Starting tomorrow,
it's crazy, man.
Before Tennessee football is back. So
what is that? 4.5 weeks?
Yeah, 4.5 weeks.
Let's go.
It cannot get here soon enough. You mentioned at the very beginning, just some of the comments that the coaches made, especially Jim Knowles today. Dude, it's got me ready to run through a brick wall. I mean, it's here, man.
It's about that time.
This month there will be college football. So by the end of this month until what? End of January, there's going to be football.
Yeah,
I cannot wait.
And if you're big on high school like me, man, just in 3 weeks we're getting to witness or go watch our first game.
Oh, man.
We love high school football around here. So
hey, have you seen
I only watch NFL for fantasy. I could care less. So
have you seen the opening weekend game that is going to be broadcast on ESPN? High school football game.
Is it Baylor?
Baylor School going up against Brentwood Academy.
I knew that.
You've got DGG baby going up against Kevin Simon's son. What is it? Kenneth Simon? Is that his name?
Maybe. I'm not familiar.
Yeah, but
Rhonda asked, will we be doing something like that for basketball and baseball? Like a countdown, I guess?
Very possible. It's very possible, Rhonda.
No, we're not. Not for basketball. This dude already wants to talk about basketball, and we're not even done with the first month of football. He can go on somewhere with the daggum basketball crap. Ain't no way. Nobody cares about basketball until after January, okay? Or after Christmas, I guess. Get out of here. Get out of here with that. No.
It's very possible. I'm not going to do a full 100 days because it's already inside 100 days for basketball.
Of course.
But I might do something like from a month in. I might do something like that. Just depends on
So basically, as soon as football season starts, I get it. It's whatever. Jesus.
Okay.
This is crazy.
Speaking of Tennessee basketball, though, something else that we got to mention, they did get one more pickup, basically finalizing their roster as they got Vanderbilt transfer Jalen Washington.
If you're a Vanderbilt player and your name is Jalen, come to Knoxville, my boy.
I consider him North Carolina transfer. You know, that's where he was more well known. So. But no, they did pick up Jalen Washington after this whole ordeal of 2022 players can now get an extra year of eligibility. Obviously, there's still some things going on that might not happen. But he had always, we'll see. But he had already he was going to enter the transfer portal if he had another year of eligibility. And when this first came out, there was a small window that players, if they wanted to come back, they could enter the transfer portal, which is what Jalen Washington did. And he committed to the Vols. So if he is deemed eligible, as some of these other players are still waiting on as well, he will be a Vol this next season. If he is deemed ineligible, then, he's not playing anywhere else. But it was mentioned earlier that Tennessee did have a roster spot still available. if the right guy came around, they were going to pick him up, and Jalen Washington came around. So Tennessee has finalized their roster this season. So really excited for that as well.
Right on. Well, dude, it's been a great show. We've gotten 2 more predictions out the way, and I just know from doing the predictions that we're getting close because, brother, we only got 6 more teams left. So that means 3 more weeks of predictions, and yeah, man.
That put us right there at week 0, I'm pretty sure.
Come on, man. Talk to me, Goose. So, man, I appreciate another week. You got anything in closing?
So we know who we're predicting next week. What position group? Let's go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know.
I was gonna say let's do wide receivers and tight ends. That was what we were gonna do this week if media day was tomorrow. So next week let's do wide receivers, tight ends.
I had a good feeling media day was Tuesday because I thought practice was on the Wednesday. So, all right, big dog. Sounds like a plan. Let's do it, and can't wait to talk to you next week.
Yes, sir. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Once again, make sure you do follow us on all social media to help us out. And we will see you all next week. Go Big Orange, everybody.
Let's go.